Hola, soy Aiden. Can you see the new SEAT Ateca? Where is it? That's right, here it is! And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of all our future uploads. Now I'll start with the styling. And to put it simply, this car looks pretty much exactly the same as how it did on the pre-facelift SEAT Ateca. But this is the experience trim level, the top spec. The lower specs being the style and the excellence. So prices start at 167k for the excellence, that's the base model, all the way up to 181 for this, the big boy experience trim level. And for that I get full LED headlights and daytime running lights, as well as some chrome trim along the grille. And that's about it for the front. Onto the side. So on the experience trim level, top of the line model, I get the larger 18-inch rims as opposed to the 17-inch ones you get on the other specs, as well as the chrome trim, as you can see, along the window surrounds and the roof rails. And if I use the keyless entry doors, you would be able to see, well, not now because it's a bit too bright outside, but the puddle light on this car, which I will paste a B-roll of now, says "Hola" with an exclamation mark. So the car can say hi to you every time you want to step inside. And if I come a bit further back, you can see this car in all of its glory. It finished in this lava blue paint, that's what SEAT calls it. And to me, it kind of looks like a deep, dark teal, which I actually do quite like. But as usual, if you don't like the paint that this car comes in, you can hit up our friends at Voss Automotive. With a keen understanding of paint, vinyl wraps and custom automotive bodywork, Voss Automotive is your best option to give your car a 360-degree transformation without breaking the bank. Alright, so the last of the experience model exclusives on the outside of this car are the full LED taillights. And if you follow me a little over here, you can see the new badging on the back of the car. Now, it isn't actually new because this is a throwback to some of the older badging they had on their older cars, and this is how it's going to be like on all SEAT cars moving forward. Now, as usual, I will explore the behind. So I have the key in my pocket, and all you have to do is wave your foot around, and the electric tailgate will open to reveal 510 litres of boot space, which I will demonstrate by climbing in. As you can see, the load floor was a little low, but I have plenty of space, and I can lower the rear seats 60-40 from the boot. They don't fold flat, which is a bit annoying, but you do get plenty of through storage. Overall, in my opinion, it actually looks a lot smaller than it feels on the inside, especially with how much boot space it has. And it's got some extra flair with the fancy trim on the outside, cute puddle light. But I don't know, it just feels like there's still no mistaking that this car isn't exactly what you call top shelf looks. Now, unless you drive permanently underground, which is quite unlikely, chances are you're going to be outside, which means you need to protect your car's paintwork. And to do that, you can use 3K Defense from our friends over at KGC Workshop. 3K Defense has been established since 2016 and it's customized for Singapore's weather, providing you with the most suitable coating to protect and shine your car. Welcome to the back seats of the new SEAT Ateca. And to start with the important bits, I have plenty of legroom. I've got a lot of space under the front seat to put my feet. And unless I'm a pro basketballer, I have loads of headroom. And then to keep myself occupied, I have my rear armrest, so I can put my drinks in the little cup holders here. And to keep my passengers in, I have my full leather seats with a bit of a contour at the side to nicely hold your rear occupants. And if you want to put children back here, you can, with the child seat anchor points on both sides of the car. And in the middle, to keep yourselves cool, I have my air vents, as well as some USB Type-C charging ports so I can charge up all my devices. Right, so I'm going to begin the front seats of the Ateca with here, the center console bit. And as you can see, this has a traditional gear lever because unlike some of the other cars, the Ateca, at least this one, is a facelifted model and not completely new. So it doesn't have the new shift-by-wire nipple that you get in a bunch of the other cars. And below that we can see the hard dial for the drive modes, as well as the cup holders just behind that, and the armrest with some extra cubby storage inside. In front of that you have the engine start-stop button, the wireless charging pad, as well as two USB Type-C ports to connect to your 9.2-inch infotainment screen in the middle with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So over on this side we have the tried and tested Volkswagen Audi Group digital cockpit, which I know, I love, and it's one of my favorite systems in any car. Moving forward though, we have the multifunction steering wheel with everyone's favorite feature, voice control. There you go. Call intern 4.
Would you like to call intern 4?
Yes.
Calling contact.
Thank you very much. This is the first time I've had it work. And there he is. It works. Well done. So on this multifunction steering wheel where the voice control button was, I have it wrapped in leather, and it's also heated actually, funnily enough. And on this, the Experience model, I get the flat bottom sports design, as well as the X on the bottom of the steering wheel. Overall, I think, much like the exterior of the car, it's not tremendously exciting, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's a very safe interior. It's tried and tested, it's proven, and because this is the older facelifted model, instead of being all new, I don't have that annoying everything locked behind a screen infotainment system that you have in the newer cars. I have physical buttons, which I really prefer. So I feel that this interior with plenty of rear seats behind, good space in front, I've got leather seats, it's electric on the driver's side, it's comfortable, it's a nice place to be, and it's just safe. It works. And now all that's left to do is see how she drives. The SEAT Ateca is powered by a 1.4 litre 4-cylinder TSI engine that makes 148 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels through an 8-speed automatic gearbox, and it will go from 0 to 100 in 9 seconds and top out at 195 kilometers an hour. Fuel economy is quoted at 16.1 km per litre. So yeah, you heard those stats right. The biggest change in this car is its new gearbox. It's now an Aisin-sourced 8-speed automatic instead of the 7-speed DSG you usually get with VAG offerings. And I'm not complaining. For that I get better fuel efficiency. I get about 11.6 to 11.8 km per litre in my driving, and the gear changes are still pretty snappy. And I think the biggest benefit would be slightly better peace of mind when it comes to gearbox reliability concerns, especially in somewhere like Singapore. You get a bunch of traffic like we are in now, and you do a lot of creeping. And the average driver and the person who's buying this car, they're not going to know the difference between a 7-speed DSG and an 8-speed auto. They're not going to feel the difference, so I think that's a good move from SEAT to put this in. So because this car has quite a bit of torque, it's actually quite punchy in the low end, and that makes driving around town and making overtakes on expressways really easy. And even if I didn't want to overtake on an expressway, I want to just cruise, I can do that. I have adaptive cruise control, and it will just keep me at a safe distance and follow the guy in front speed. The steering is actually quite light, and it can be quite fun to drive actually. I mean, obviously it's no canyon carver, and it's not going to set any lap records, but for a budget mid-size SUV, I think it's not bad. It's definitely one of the slightly more engaging ones I've driven. Suspension in this car as well is pretty pliable, as what you would expect from a SUV, and it makes light work of all but the worst bumps. And the interior, although there really is nothing much to shout about, it's quite plain, is pretty quiet on the inside, and for long drives I think this will be a perfectly decent place to have a trip. I have two main gripes with the interior of this car. First being this little shiny piece of trim on the steering wheel, which its only job is to reflect light into your eyes when it's sunny. Thankfully, now it is a bit cloudy, but when it is bright outside, all it does is just send glare straight at your face. The second gripe I have is with the pedal positions. I don't know if it's because of my seating position, but I can't imagine it is. But the pedals feel at a really awkward angle, they're really high up. So after a couple of days of driving this, my right ankle is actually quite achy. So on the whole, even though I do feel that there's nothing extraordinary or outstanding in particular about the way this drives, everything just works. Like, there's nothing in a weird place, it doesn't do any weird quirks. So I think the best way to describe this driving experience is, let's say a friend asks you, "Hey bro, how's the new SEAT SUV? And then you reply, "Not bad lah bro, it's okay." So if you're going to be doing a lot of long drives in this car, you're going to want to keep your engine in good shape. And for that, you're going to need lubricants, more specifically SPC lubricants, where protection is everything. Overall, I feel that this car reminds me a lot of its smaller cousin, the Arona, just that this has more tech, more space and more performance. And if you had watched or read my review of the Arona, you know that I really liked it. I thought it was a really safe bet. So that must mean that the Ateca is a safe bet, but more. So by my maths, that means the SEAT Ateca is an even safer bet. And if you want to try it for yourself, you can head on down to the SEAT Centre and give it a whirl. Now, no matter how safe a bet might be, you're always going to want to protect yourself. And to do that, you can use Direct Asia. As the only direct insurer with the highest NCD, lifetime repair guarantee, and flexible coverage, Direct Asia protects your car so you can enjoy the moments that matter. Because what drives you matters most. Get a quote now at directasia.com or call 665 5555 today. Thank you very much for watching this episode of mReview. Be sure to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again on mReview.
Motorist